Hello everybody, Skyrain here, back again with another Diablo Immortal video. In this one we're going to cover a series of different builds that I've been testing out periodically here in Battlegrounds. One I've been using most recently. I probably will stick with that one for a little while because honestly it's just a lot of fun. It's a different twist on the ice one. And it doesn't involve ice. Well, it might. I don't know. Anyway, let's break these down while we're at the training area here. Now, like I said in a previous video, we have options. We have options now as to what we can do. The CC reduction as well has definitely opened things up a lot more. It just basically push and be way more aggressive, and then on defense you got to be way more aggressive and go for like stuff that's gonna take people out and get those kills, but also you still need to, you know, slow down the idle pushes as well and use the CCs. Now the CCs still work for
another tale to one. Caution is often wise.
The CC still works here, as I've said in the past, for Wizard with the ice build that everybody's familiar with, because and I've gone over this before too. The Bluster Crux. No, actually, it only shows it in the skill menu for whatever reason. Arcane Wind with the Bluster Crux. Here it is. Conjure Wind Core, pulling nearby enemies to its center. So you only get to do this one time because it lasts 4 seconds, and Wind Core can only pull enemy players to its center once every 4 seconds. So we don't really get the diminishing returns on the CC here because the skill itself literally only lasts for 4 seconds. You get one pull in that time, and that's all you can do anyway. So that's how it's been. That's how it continues to be, but it still functions. So yeah, I mean, it's just one quick pull anyway, so it's not going to have diminishing returns anyway. The freeze might, but not the pull. So yeah, the freeze might. Snowstorm. Chill. Actually, this isn't even what causes the freeze here. The freeze is brought on by the offhand, which is the Alder Crystal, which does Arcane Wind. Now also freezes chilled enemies. 2.4 seconds in my case anyway. This is Rezo. This is Essence Max. Whatever. This is what I get for my stuff here, and then this cannot occur more than once every 3 seconds, and then that's enemies. This one though, it says 5 seconds for players, so either way 4 seconds is basically what you're looking at best, because you got to get through, like, you know, the immunities and the shields and all that kind of stuff when they have them up. Save it, wait until that's down before you can pull that off. But yeah, and then the invulnerable moves from Necro and Blood Knight are the other ones you got to watch out for, and you have to get the timing down. But that's that. So yeah, this one is still an option. It still works. It still serves its purpose. And I still run with because I don't feel like wasting any more wisps at this point on crafting anything else. I still run with 4 pieces of Angmet, which honestly, Banquet is starting to look pretty tasty to me again, but I still want the 4 pieces of Grace. So currently that's pretty simplistic. You can break it down even further. Maybe you can go 4-piece Grace because it does have the heal interrupts if you can get the dots on them long enough, and then you can throw on even like Feasting Baron, a couple pieces just to make the duration last longer with all your dots and everything else, to go along with in that case, I don't know, or you can put on, in that case you can put on 2 pieces of Vithus for beneficial duration of maybe your slow time, what have you. That's one option. Let's see, what other one did I do recently that I've been trying out? Oh, the beam. The beam got a buff. Might not think it, but I used it in the past, obviously in some of my previous videos, a lot. Now this one I did a slight variant. I'll show you here what I was running. I tested out for like a day. It's fun. Again, this one, you're a lot more of a stationary target, however, and you're a lot more slower. I did put on, I think, Gladiator on this one. I had Ranger on the other one. Yeah, I put Gladiator on for this one to be a little bit more tanky. But honestly, you're probably still better off running with Ranger. And if I had to change anything on this current one, since I used it last time, let's see here. Well, let's just go over it. Let's see, we got the Veil of Dross. Ice Crystal duration increased 39%. Frostweaver garments, which makes the Ice Crystal create a freezing crystal and a chill, which is very, very sneaky. You can throw this on an idol, and that chill stacks up really. It amps up a lot, and if you're doing other stuff on top of it, it surprises a lot of people, and it lasts a very long time. So it's a good hindrance for defending and pushing if you need to put it down. Freezing Crystal, let's see, oh, that one. And then the Searing Judgment shoulders that got buffed, and their damage. It's a nice little buff. So yeah, you know, the fire burning shoulder beam, burn beam, basically what that is. And then the Crystal Guards also got a buff to reduce the crystal, Ice Crystal cooldown from what it used to be. And the Bluster Crux, again here I'm using along with Unrepentant Gale for 2 Arcane Wind charges, and you'll see why in a second. And then of course the Alder Crystal as well, again. So in this format, what you want to do is, it's all about positioning. Now, I didn't show the last one, sorry. This one, the Entropic Edge. I put this one on for the 19% increased disintegrate damage. However, you might want to, especially being as squishy as I am, as free to play, you might want to go for the increased range on disintegrate instead. Might benefit better, because I used to have the burn beam build and I had both pieces on, the range and the damage. And the range, once I took it off, is noticeable. It is very noticeable. But anyway, so what we do here is, say that's the idol, throw a crystal down on it, and then you can do that with the Arcane Wind, and then if you really have to, double it, and then whoever's caught in the middle is getting hit by both. They might not be frozen, you know, the CC won't stack, but they'll definitely take more damage because you got 2 circles on top of them. I'll wait for this again. Let's see how long the cooldown, by the way, is for the Ice Crystal here. Plop it down. 20 seconds. With both the headpiece on for the increased duration and the, let's see, this one and the Crystal Guards for the cooldown reduction. Both of them together, basically about 3 seconds at worst. 3 seconds at worst before you can cast the Ice Crystal again. So yeah, 20 and 19 second-ish. And then of course, maybe if you have any other pieces on of cooldown reduction, that's going to change that some more. And Bottled Hope is something I need to probably work on. Acquiring better ones of, I do have one now. Oh yeah, there it goes. Yeah, that's pretty fast. 19 seconds it says. So yeah, that makes a huge difference. And like I said, with the burn beam, there's that. The damage is whatever. I'm not even paying attention to that. I just want to show the build. Yeah, how far out? Okay, that's good there. Let's see. You can't reach it from there with the rig there. Okay, so that's about the range. Not too bad, but you gotta. It takes some finding again. And every time I switch a build that I've been testing, like once every a different build a day, it's kind of a lot of muscle memory readjustment every time. But and of course I've seen other ones the other ones out there using the tank builds.
Another tale,
you know, the usual
At
bit.
least you are not rash.
Where is it? I got one here for Conqueror. I think I changed. No, this is the old one. This is with the flaming orbs. This doesn't have ice armor at all, which in my case I'd have to swap something out and try that instead. This is... I've also seen that one being done differently. This is the Shocking Lightning Nova. Now, you can use that one, or... again, you have options. There's all kinds of things you can do now. It's great, as far as that goes anyway. They're all fairly viable. They're all you know, they have their place, but then also it all depends on, one, your team composition, what you get thrown into. At, you know, you're at the mercy of the matchmaking system, so you have that going against you, and also depending on how, you know, what team comps, like I said, it's team composition that you get, the class distribution, and then the reso comes into play after all that's said and done. That's the three main factors, I think. Well, secondary stats is secondary. Okay, four things. Secondary stats above reso, even, honestly. If you have high secondaries, honestly, the reso kind of goes out the window. To an extent, anyway. But yeah, it all depends. So another one that I tried more recently, and I've been having a lot more fun with, honestly. I basically call it, well, I call it
another tale to at least
time burn.
Not rash.
Time burn. This one, again, pure glass. I got ranger on this one because, look, you get more mobility when enemies aren't near you, so it helps you get back onto the field, get there quicker, and then you also have slow time if you need to for even faster mobility, just to get back into the fray faster. Again, Bottled Hope would benefit me a lot if I had it, to reduce my cooldowns and such, and increase my damage as well. So I definitely need to start looking into that. But anyway, this one is just a slight variant of the ice build, except in this case, the only difference is we were going with the fire meteor storm. Straight up fire meteor storm. Why? Because you get the firestorm proc that usually guarantees crits. And yeah, so here we go. Boom, boom, boom. And this one really catches a lot of people off guard, and it can melt. I mean, the same thing, you can get caught just the same way yourself and melt in an instant too. So obviously, you know, that's the caveat. It's going to be that with anything, especially as a free-to-play. You pretty much have to just pick and choose your spots and play as tactical as possible and hope for the best, and then also hope that you know, your team's in position. But this one really does cause, you know, some people think twice before going onto idle points, and it does hurt pretty good. Now again, it might be better. The burn set is nice and all, but in this case you might want to go 4-piece grace, 4-piece banquet. It might be more optimal. I haven't tried it out yet myself. I'd like to, but then again, I'd have to recraft my bracelets, and I'm trying to save up my wisps and everything. So anyway, there you go. There's the assortment of what I've been trying out so far, pretty frequently. Oh, and to give you another idea, see, Inferno Battlegrounds. Here we go. There we go. That's currently where I'm at. I'm back to, once I got into Legend, and then I got knocked back out briefly, and then I got back into it again. So it's gonna be kind of hard for me a bit here. I'm not gonna stay in Legend, I guarantee. It's probably I'm gonna be going back and forth for a bit between Gold 5 and Legend. Why? Because I have found, and this is what I want to know from, I'm putting this question out there. What is, to those of you that are in Legend or have been in Legend in the previous seasons, what is your win-loss, plus and minus points, gains and losses? For me, it's I've already confirmed it. I did the tally. I got a little further into Legend, and then I dropped back a bit. My wins are only 12 points. My losses are 13 points. So I still take a hit, losing more than winning by a point difference. But that's all I get. That's all I get. And that's why I haven't been able to start padding this up yet, per se, to stay in Legend a little bit longer, to, you know, take those losses with, you know, in stride, and then just keep pushing. So I just got the Legend today, so that's what I'm going to be struggling with. It's going to be a lot of up and down, back and forth for a little while, because my point gains are only 12 on a win. That's all I get, and I'm pretty well I think I've seen it before in the past somewhere, and I think it's established that the more reso you have, the more point difference that you get. I'm not entirely sure, which is why I'm posing the question. But so I'm curious. But yeah, for me, with my reso at 1830 currently is still, as it was last season, 12 plus 12 on a win, minus 13 on a loss at legend rank. So if it's different for you, post them up in the comments, compare your stat, compare that, so we can kind of gauge and then confirm or deny, whether that's true or not. I feel like it is. I feel like it's based on your reso. So therefore, also in that process, which I don't know if I mentioned in a previous video or not, as far as Battleground goes, yeah, see, my win rate is at 64%. I was at 60 yesterday, so I've made some gains in my win rate today and pushed into Legend. However, I was at 3rd place briefly from both of these two here, and I'll show you why. Even with the win, this one here was even the win rate. It was like maybe 49% at the time, but I was still 60. I was still 60%. They had passed me up at one point in points as far as the leaderboards go. Why? Very simple, because this also goes back to my point. Their residents, almost 5,000. Okay, and their residents, they're running, well, I think they might be able to run 3K, but yeah, we'll just run 3K residents. I think I've seen them run either slightly higher than that or what have you. But so there you go. And then because of my that's why I'm posing the question. I'm really curious. But so anyway, I've rambled on enough. There's a couple options. That's some of the things I've tested out back and forth. The Ice Crystal Beam return was fun, and it definitely did catch a lot of people off guard. And if you get a good, like, solid, meaty, beefy team, to sit on the idol, you can throw that stuff down, and it'll keep the enemy off because they're constantly being chilled and frozen. And you stay back, hit the beam, sprays out to hit the majority of the enemy team around it. And I've had a lot of success and quick wins with that one because it catches them off guard. And it is kind of a counter to the other wizard, meteor shower builds, because you get that extra extended range from the beams that they don't always see on screen. Per usual, that's still in effect. But yeah, there you go. There's a couple of different options. I'm rambling, of course, as I always do. So take care, everybody. Catch you the next time. Stay safe out there.